Hey there, you're listening to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, and MMA on occasion. Here's your host, RJ Carbone.
And a high drive into left center field. Stanton is going to watch another one fly. Are you kidding me? DiVincenzo a three. Bang! Bang! Knicks take a
Take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
At the wall. See ya! See ya! See ya! Mr. November.
Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down and the game is tied.
Rose, you shook up the world again.
I did it again. But God did it, man. I really just had
Gonna have to. Brunson running away. Oh my! He has been the best player to put on that uniform.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Okay, another day. Nothing has changed. I don't know what to say. It's going to be a short episode, as I warned you guys last show. Really, the rest of this season, before we finally have the fortune of saying good riddance to this garbage team, these episodes are going to be shorter and less detailed, not as much baseball talk, because I'm kind of over this team. I'm kind of ready to move on, and I cannot wait until we don't have to talk about this disgrace of a baseball team. So, with that said, let's talk about this pitiful $300 million, 500 baseball team. They went into this series against just an abominable Twins team that gave away half their roster and was not good to begin with, got even worse, at least on paper, needing to beat this team because they beat this team to a pulp every time they play them. The Twins are a joke, and the Yankees let them know that, and let me fix that because they didn't sweep. I don't know why it says 3-0 on the graphic here if you're watching. 2-1. They won the series 2-1. So they did take the series. But again, that's kind of the thing with this Yankees team. You know, it is the perfect example of who this Yankees team is. They put together two pretty fun games where they win, but they cannot ever get the big one. And it's just the microcosm of the Yankees. Incapable of creating any type of momentum, any opportunity to gain any kind of steam and get some momentum and start flowing a little bit, get into a bit of a rhythm, they cannot do it. God forbid this team wins 3 games in a row for the first time in Lord knows how long. And God forbid they do it on a day that Toronto loses, that Boston loses, and that the rest of the American League wildcard picture loses. Now, the Yankees sweep the Twins, and I wouldn't have bought in whether they did or not. I still need to see them play Toronto, who they've still got on their schedule. Boston, they still got a series against them. You know, how do they look against the East, who's been just dominating them this year? But again, not sweeping that team shows me what the Yankees have shown me all year. They have no clue what momentum is. So the 2 wins they did pick up on Monday and on Tuesday meant less than 0. They faced 2 randoms who nobody will ever know who they are. And then they finally face a good starting pitcher on Wednesday. And what happens? They get shut the hell down. I am starting to, and I hate to do this, because I think 90% of Twitter complaints is a bunch of bullshit that's hyper-focused and zoomed in and doesn't really put into perspective certain things. But I am starting to believe the narrative that the Yankees might just not be able to handle good pitching, and they beat up on bad pitching most of the time. I don't know the metrics. I'm not going to fully say that's true. I got to find a filter somewhere on some website and find out how they fare against certain pitchers and stuff, just so I can see and believe it for myself as opposed to following dopes on Twitter. But it just feels like whenever they run into a good pitcher who has his best stuff, they've got no fucking shot. So you get to Monday. We'll start there. The Yankees win 6-2. Congrats. Good job. The righty Will Warren took the mound, and he faced some random right-hander. I think his name was Zebby Matthews. Yankees score 6 runs. They do it with 10 hits, 4 of them home runs. They walk twice, strike out 12 times, and they go 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Against this random Matthews, they score 3 runs in 5 2/3. Bellinger hits a solo blast to the bottom of the first. Stanton and Rice go back-to-back with home runs in the third. It's 3-0 by then. And against the Minnesota bullpen, the Yankees get 3 more runs in just 2 1/3. They're up just 1 run by the time we get to the bottom of the 7th, but then Grisham and Judge pick up RBI singles against former Yankee reliever Brooks Kriske. Puts the Yanks up 5-2. And then bottom 8, Jazz Chisholm with a tack-on solo home run against the righty Ramirez, 6-2 Yankees. Jazz goes 1 for 3, homer, walk, stolen base. He's been putting together some better at-bats lately. There's that. McMahon goes 1 for 4 with a double. Nice to see him slug for once. Still hasn't hit his first home run. Rice goes 2 for 4. It was a collective effort offensively. It really was. 8 Yankees had hits. 4 Yankees reached base twice. 6 Yankees had RBIs. You got some great base running in this game, using their athleticism to create offense, right? Bottom of the 6th inning, Jazz Chisholm steals the base to get into scoring position with 2 outs. Also did a nice job relaying signs to Goldschmidt off the Minnesota bullpen. Did that throughout the series. Bottom 7, Volpe goes from first to third on a hit and run. Ends up scoring later on a Grisham single. So they run the bases well in this game. Showed off the athleticism that they do have. And that's how they created 6 runs. On the mound, again, Will Warren went 6 2/3. 2 runs. Both came off solo home runs. 2 solo home runs. 3 hits in total. Didn't walk anybody. Struck out 7. Through 85 pitches, got the win. He was sharp from the very get-go. You could see his stuff was there. The velocity, the break was there. He was averaging 95 early. He touched 97 with his 2-seamer in the early innings. Did not allow a base runner through the first 2 innings. And I think he only put 1 guy on through the first 5 innings. Hung a couple of breaking balls to Buxton, and he hung one to Larnach in the 6th and 7th for solo home runs, but that was it. He never relinquished the Yankee lead, kept them up, and gave them some length. He broke a streak of 10 straight Yankee starts without 6 innings pitched. I think it goes back to July 30th. Why? Well, because he didn't nibble and he didn't bullshit around, and he attacked with fastballs. He used his fastballs. 4-seamer, the 2-seamer, he was using them both, getting consistently ahead in counts with them, so he didn't walk a guy, and that allowed him to pitch into the 7th. By attacking with his 4-seam and sinker, Minnesota had no clue. They were 1 for 18 with 6 strikeouts on those 2 pitches. They're not a good fastball hitting team. So Warren was able to dominate them. And overall, he continues to be primarily 4-seam, 2-seam sweeper. But I'll continue to say, if he develops the curveball a little bit more and he develops the changeup a little bit more, he will be more effective against left-handed batters. I think the key in the offseason for next year, because he's got the fastball down pat, is to just tweak that secondary. Right? The fastball is great. It might not be consistently 90, 95, 96, 97 all the time, but it's got great spin. It's got great location, top of the zone. It's got good movement. He's able to backdoor, front door that two-seamer. But if he can command his off-speed, the sweeper, the curveball, the changeup, it will take his game to the next level. Right now, his off-speed and breaking are getting crushed by left-handers. They're not getting chase. They're missing spots. Overall, like you go to his StatCast page, the run value on his breaking and off-speed, very poor. But he's got good characteristics. Like you look at the sweeper, it's a good pitch. It passes the eye test. The spin, the break, the shape of it's very sharp. And that's why it does play versus righties. He just needs to command it better when he's backdooring it to lefties. And I thought he did a nice job of doing that in this game. And the curveball and the changeup, same thing. Good spin, but he's got to improve the command against lefties. Sequencing is also going to be key for him. When in counts does he go to the fastball? What does he play off the fastball, etc. Command and sequencing has always been key for Will Warren, as it is with every young pitcher. And we're going to talk about the same thing when we talk about Schlittler in a bit. But nice job for Warren. The bullpen goes 2 1/3, no runs, no base runners, 4 strikeouts. Weaver gets the final out of the 7th and all of the 8th. Inning in the 3rd, no runs, 2 strikeouts, a hold against Minnesota's bottom 4. Throwing strikes, getting outs again. In his last 7 games, Luke Weaver, 7 1/3 innings, no earned runs, 4 base runners. And on the season now, the numbers look very good. 47 innings, 2.68 ERA, and a 0.81 whip. After Luke Weaver, it was David Bednar who we're going to tip our cap to in this one. Sorry, I don't have the camera on me. This is an audio-only episode, but the graphic is up. David Bednar was very sharp. He got all of the 9th inning in this game. Finished final line of 1 inning, no runs, 2 strikeouts, gets the save against Minnesota's top 3 hitters. And he was what David Bednar usually is. 98 above the zone, hard split, slow curve. Was going to David Bednar a bit of an unnecessary move because the Yankees were up 4 at that time? Yeah, personally, this is where I probably would have went to Yerry De Los Santos, which we'll talk about that. But given how things have been and that the Yankees need wins and, they're desperate, I was not mad, and I don't think anybody was. If we criticize Boone for not going for the kill, which we will in just a few minutes in the other game, you can't blame him for doing something like this. So good for David Bednar doing his job. This is the second time we'll be tipping our cap to him as he continues to be really good for the Yankees since coming over. 5 games, 2.57 ERA, and most of those runs came, in that disastrous Miami game right after the deadline. The second game of the series, the Yankees blew the Twins out on Tuesday, 9-1. You had the lefty Rodon against the righty Adams, but the Twins really did an opener. They went to bullpen. Yankees scored 9 runs on 11 hits, 6 extra base hits, 11 walks, 5 strikeouts, 3 for 14 in scoring position. 4 runs and 2 1/3 on the starter Adams. Bottom 1, the Yanks are down 1-0. Judge ties it up with a solo homer to center. Bottom 2, Volpe hits a 3-run home run to put the Yanks up 4-1, and then the Yankees went off. Bottom 3, Stanton hit a solo home run off a hanging slider. And then against the Minnesota bullpen, Yanks got 5 more runs in 5 2/3. 7th inning, Bellinger with an RBI walk. Stanton a 2-run single, 8-1 Yanks. Iscara with an RBI in the 8th, 9-1. Look at the box score. Judge goes 1 for 2, hits his first home run since coming back. Walks 3 times, one of them intentionally. Stolen base. Stanton goes 4 for 5 in this game. Doubles, homers, couple singles, 3 RBIs. Jazz Chisholm goes 2 for 3 with a triple, 2 walks, and 2 stolen bases. Goldschmidt 1 for 4 with a double. Volpe 1 for 4 with a home run, walk, and 3 RBIs. Bellinger goes 0 for, but he beat out a ground ball, forced an error, walked, and drove in a run. And Rice drew 2 walks. The bullpen from this game, 2 innings, no runs, no base runners, 3 strikeouts. Tim Hill got the 8th. 1 inning, no runs, 1 strikeout against Minnesota's 8-9-1. So it was a nice rebound for him from Sunday's disaster. And then Yeri got the 9th. 1 inning, no runs, 2 strikeouts against Minnesota's 2-3-4. They did have 2 pinch hitters. But he mowed them down. And then you go to the mound, to start the game. Carlos Rodon was very sharp, very good. So I'm going to tip my cap to Carlos Rodon. Rodon goes 7 innings, just 1 run, 1 hit, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts only. But no home runs allowed. 96 pitches gets the win. He was brilliant and ace-like. Very brilliant outing. After the top of the first. It looked really bad to start. It looked like a total mess. Gets off to this rough start where he's got no command. 31 pitches in the first inning. He gives up the leadoff single to Martin, it ended up being Minnesota's only hit on the night. But he was 1-2 to him. Couldn't finish him off. He's ahead 1-2 to Buxton. Lost the zone with his changeup and walks him. Then I think he just lost the grip on his slider to Jeffers. And he was 0-2 on him. Hits him with a pitch. So this loads the bases with nobody out. Eventually ends up giving up 1 run, but that'd be it. He did a very nice job using his fastball to escape against K-Shaw. He got him to strike out swinging. He goes 2 off speed. Then he goes to 4-seam fastball above the zone. And then he gets Clemens to strike out swinging. 4-seamer slider back to the sinker. And that's how he escaped. So didn't get a ton of swing and miss the rest of the way, but he finished very strong. He retired 17 in a row after giving up that run. Lots of soft contact, a lot of ground balls, some pop-ups. That was how he got outs in this game. It was the same pitch mix as usual. 4-seam slider to lefties. 4-seam change sink to righties. Staying away from the barrel, but did a nice job attacking. And so for the 7th time this year, we're tipping our cap to Carlos Rodon, who I consider the Yankee ace. On Wednesday, the 3rd game of the series, the Yankees win they lose. The Twins win. The Yanks lose 4-1. This was the righty Cam Schlittler against the righty Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan gave up the Bellinger solo home run early to go up 1-0 for the Yanks, and that was it for the bats. The belly home run. Volpe doubled later. It was 25th of the year. Grisham had an early single. Ben Rice had an early single. He also did a nice job grounding into a double play in the 9th to end the game. That really bothered me. And then Judge continues to do 0 at the plate. I would just sit him out the rest of the way, to be honest. He doesn't look good. He was over. After the Yankees got their run, Schlittler gives it right back, but does finish with a strong outing. Goes 5 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. So I thought the breaking ball looked really good in this game. It was getting a lot of whiffs. The sliders got great drop. The curveball's got a decent shape to it. At least in this game, it looked good. The fastball was working effectively as per usual. Still consistently /around 99 to 100. Plenty of life on it. The velocity's there. It's real. It's been increasing at each level. I know in college he was around 88 to 93. Down in the minor league system, he sat 93 to 96. He comes up here. He's been consistently 97 to 100. So it's nice to see. So on the year, you look at Cam Schlittler, and he's got 6 starts, 3.94 ERA, 30 strikeouts in 29 2/3 innings, and a 1.52 whip. So the stuff is obviously there. Just has to work on command and sequencing, pitch mix. 4-seam slider, sinker to righties, 4-seam curveball to lefties. The pitches all look good. Like they're above average pitches. When he's commanding it, does a really good job missing the barrels and getting swing and miss. But he's not always commanding it, and sometimes when he's not commanding it, he will get barreled, and they will pull the ball in the air on him pretty hard. And a lot of that's just because, again, it's sequencing and pitch mix. He's just very 4-seam reliant right now. He loves his 4-seam fastball, and he should. It's an electric pitch. Just needs to develop that secondary, that change up a little more, right? But the manager lost this game because he was trying to get fired. I honestly believe Boone wants to get fired. I do. Self-sabotaging the team once again. Top of the 6th inning, he mismanages the bullpen. I did not love pulling Cam Schlittler after 5. I could at least understand that part. I didn't love it, though. I'm not going to lie. Minnesota can't hit fastballs. Schlittler's looking good. He did fall behind in some counts in the prior inning, but he was looking really sharp. But what I really hated was, if you're going to pull him, fine. But I hated seeing him go to a low leverage arm with a fully rested bullpen. Warren and Rodon had just pitched 7 innings for you the first 2 nights of this series. Your bullpen was not really used. Every single guy was available. And you go to Yerry De Los Santos, who I think has been good. And I like Yerry. And I think Yerry getting high leverage innings is good now. But when you have a fully rested pen, he should not be first in the pecking order. That's an absolute disgrace. And so he goes to Yerry, and Yerry was awful. And I don't think Yerry's been used on back-to-back nights much this year. So for some reason, he decides to use him in back-to-back nights when Leiter and Weaver and Camilo Doval could have been used right there. You couldn't go to Leiter first. You couldn't use Doval a little bit earlier. All of your top weapons were available. De Los Santos, yes, some tough luck, but he gives up 3 runs and he couldn't record a single out. Awful, awful managing. And then you get to the bottom of the 7th. Yanks in a pretty big spot. I, at the time, like many others, I'm sure, thought it was a brutal decision to keep Austin Wells there as a lefty against a left-handed relief pitcher. Where was Paul Goldschmidt, who hits over 400 against left-handed pitching? It's the only thing he can do offensively. But you find out after the game, Paul Goldschmidt has a bad knee, and he's probably going to be on the DL. Now, you want to say, because, Rosario's out, Slater's out. Should you have gone to Jose Caballero over Austin Wells? That's kind of whatever at that point. The Goldschmidt one, though, really bothered me until I found out he's banged up. So, guess you can't really be too mad at it. But, man, that bullpen decision was brutal. Anyways, the Yankees, at the end of the day, failed to capitalize and score more than 1 run on a night where they needed to. As a bright spot before we wrap this episode up, Giancarlo Stanton. How awesome has he been? This is the 5th time we're tipping our cap to him. In this series, he goes 7 for 13. It's a .538 average, a double, 2 homers, 1615 OPS, 4 RBIs, scores a couple runs, strikes out 3 times, 14 total bases. On the year, Stanton's numbers, 299 average, 373 on base, 576 slug. That's a 949 OPS. 159 OPS plus. He looks excellent. It's the 5th time we're tipping our cap to him already for a guy who wasn't here until mid-season. This is the best Stanton's ever looked, in my opinion, as a Yankee. He's just, the bat speed is clearly still there. He still hits the ball harder than everybody, And what I'm really impressed with is the discipline. He's not chasing. The man's staying in the zone, and he's taking his walks, which he wasn't doing last year during the regular season. The OPS was built off slug last year. The at-bats are really good this year. But right now, he's in a zone. The timing is on point. I mean, his timing is impeccable right now. Everything is just on time. Lining hard hit balls. So he's been on fire. He's doing a nice job in right field, holding it down. But the bat's been awesome. He now has 441 career home runs. So there's been a lot of buzz lately about Stanton in the Hall of Fame. Does he get to 500 home runs? If he does that put him in the Hall? I think it should. You get to 500 home runs. Only what? Less than 30 guys have hit 500 home runs in the career in the history of this game. And then even less guys have done it with the postseason resume that Stanton has. That should get him in. The guy's career has been, riddled with injuries. But the fact that he still got to 500 despite, only 2 seasons playing 150 games in his entire career, that's friggin' impressive. So I think he should be in. And I think if you're not a Stanton fan as a Yankees fan by now, what are you doing? It's so funny because, the Stanton critics, all you hear from them is I know about the postseason, but this and that. Well, no, that's the whole point. It's so funny because the Yankees literally traded for this guy for the purpose of the postseason. They got him so he could help them mash in the postseason next to Judge. And all you hear from the critics are, I know about the postseason, but it's no, that's not how this works. That's the whole point. They got to get this guy to October. Unfortunately, I don't think this team's making it, and I don't think they deserve it. But, man, he's been awesome. Anyways, this team sucks. I don't want to talk about them any further, so we're going to wrap this one up here. The Yankees have a day off today. Or actually, this is I'm recording this Friday morning, so they're actually starting a series against St. Louis today. They had a day off yesterday, playing the Cardinals tonight, so we'll see what happens. So, with that said, we're going to wrap it up with our trivia the moment we get back from break. Stay with us. We'll be back in a minute.
Quick break here, guys. Stay connected with BD4 on social media. Follow us on Instagram and X at BD4Pod, and find us on Facebook by searching BD4. Don't miss out. Join the conversation. Want more BD4? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and never miss an episode. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and share with your fellow fans. Don't forget to ring that bell so you're always the first to know when a new video drops. Love BD4 but don't have the time to sit down and watch? Don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify so you never miss an episode. And if you're enjoying the show, leave us a 5-star rating and a quick review. It helps us grow and keeps the conversation going. Want everything BD4 in one place? Head to our website at bd4blog.com. You'll find links to every podcast platform, social media, and even our blog, where we dive deeper into all things BD4. Check it out now and stay connected.
Okay, let's wrap this episode up with our trivia question of the day. And in this episode, our trivia question is, what is the Yankees' all-time playoff record against the Twins in 18 games? What is the Yankees' all-time playoff record against the Twins in 18 games? Folks, that is all we got. Let me know the answer. I appreciate it. We're going to wrap this one up. I know we didn't talk too much in this one, but that's basically going to be what we do the rest of the way. We'll focus on, like we did in this episode, some of the younger players. We talk Will Warren. We talk Cam Schlittler. Hopefully we could talk some more Jason Dominguez and Ben Rice. I just think at this point in the season, man, why waste your time playing guys who won't be here next year? Just mail it in, and play your young players. Would love to see Spencer Jones get a shot in September, but Anyways, this team sucks. And like I ended last episode, cannot wait to say good riddance to the 2025 Yankees. Later. Well, if you made it this far, that means you listened to or watched the entire episode. Thank you. Just remember to follow, subscribe, download, rate and review, and all that fun stuff to help out the podcast. And I will see you in the next episode of BD4.